It was 3:30 a.m., and Rabbi Mordechai Sultan woke up with chest pains. He wasn't sure whether he was just experiencing some indigestion or maybe it was something more serious. So just to be on the safe side, he woke up his wife and they decided to call Hatzala. She called, and within seconds, Hatzala paramedics were at the door.
We pulled up to the house within 30 seconds of being called, and we met the gentleman at the front door. And we could see he's in, somewhat of distress. He seemed uncomfortable.
They brought with them a special high-tech machine called the LifePak 12 that tests the heart.
They said, you know what, we'll put the leads on you just because we're here and you're here, so let's just double check. So they put the leads on me, and that's when it happened.
Subtly, he says he's really not feeling well. His eyes roll back into his head, and he begins to have a seizure. We immediately looked at the cardiac monitor, the LifePak, and we saw that he was in cardiac arrest. He had just died in front of us.
The paramedics were forced to shock his lifeless body.
We immediately shocked him in order to jumpstart his heart and bring him back to life. Within 30 seconds, the patient was speaking with us again. He knew where he was, he knew his name, and he wanted to know what happened.
My gratitude is with them. My wife's gratitude, my children's gratitude, my family's gratitude doesn't end.
Hatzala's buses are equipped with defibrillators, but usually never with a LifePak 12. So why did Hatzala volunteers have a detection machine with them? And how were there paramedics there? And why were they seconds away from the house at 3:30 in the morning? Listen to this amazing story.
I got a phone call on Tisha B'Av from a relative of mine up in the Catskill Mountains. And they told me that their son hasn't been feeling well for a few days. He was extremely weak, so they called the Catskills Hatzala. They found his heart rate was very, very slow. They really wanted to go to a local hospital, but the parents were insistent on calling the son's pediatrician. Dr. Shannon insisted that he be brought to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. We put together a crew over here, and we started going out. Because of this child's nature and symptoms, we decided to bring some advanced life support equipment, including a LifePak 12, which is essentially an EKG machine, and it's able to monitor a patient's rate, rhythm, and whatever else is going on. We met up with them, we assumed care, and we continued on the way to CHOP.
It took them 4 hours to reach Philadelphia, and by the time they were done with the entire trip, it was the wee hours of the morning.
The guy who was driving was just driving. He was also extremely exhausted, and we missed the first exit that would have been ideal. We missed the second exit, which would have brought us to Lakewood a few minutes later. We ended up taking the exit, which is up in Freehold, which is an extra 15 minutes out of the way. As we pulled into town, we're all looking at each other. We could barely even keep our eyes open.
And as they were driving down County Line Road, they received the call.
My husband is complaining that he has chest pains. He's very nervous.
We'll send somebody over.
Thank you.
We said, instead of having other members get out of bed, we're a couple of blocks away. Let's just head over, see what's going on. Every second counted to get us to be exactly where we had to be at the exact right second.
A Lakewood Hatzala vehicle with a team of paramedics and the exact equipment needed were on their way to his doorstep at 3:30 in the morning before he even woke up.
The world stopped for me. Everybody was there for me when I needed them to be there, without any thought of themselves.
Many times in life, we feel like we're up against a brick wall. Whether it's difficulties finding a shidduch or a job, whether it's challenges at home or the struggle of raising children, we have to remind ourselves constantly that way before we ever knew there was a problem, Hashem already prepared the solution. All Hashem wants from us is to turn to Him, trust in Him, and ultimately come closer to Him.
Every day is another gift, and every day is another reason to say thank you.